and I want to see how flag animation is being done in Blender. If you are that person, let's create a flag animation in Blender. So firstly, we are going to select the object in our scene, and we do that by selecting all the object. We do that by pressing A and we press X, then delete. So now we have nothing in our editor, our scene. So what we do next is to add a plane. We're adding a plane, and I used Shift A to bring in the menu to add a plane. Then let me enable my screencast keys so that you get to see the keys that I'm using on my screen. So let's okay. I've enabled my screencast key so that we get to see the screen the key that I'm using on my screen. So let's what we'll do now, we'll just scale this up, scale this plane up, scale it in the y-axis in the size of a flag. Then let's rotate in the y-axis. So now let's grab it and push it up. Let's grab and push it in the x-axis upward. Then let's make sure we have our rotation standing properly. Okay. Now let's add loop cuts to it. So I'll switch to the object mode by pressing tab. Then I'll subdivide. I'll increase the number of cuts to 25. You can increase it as many numbers that you want, as long as your PC can handle. I just think I'll work with 25, but my PC can handle more than 25. But let's just work with 25, and I'll select the front edges. So now, after selecting the first edge, then I'll go to my data property. Then I'll add this vertex group. I'll rename it and call it pin, because I'm going to pin in the edge of the flag. Then our sign, then we'll come back to this, and let's switch to the object mode. And so let's go back. Yes, we are still clicking on the plane. We'll now move to our physics property, then assign, then click on the cloth. Then if you play, let me raise the timeline. If you play, you see that it falls. So let's go to the shape property of the cloth physics, and we'll assign the pin to it. And let's see again. You can see it's no longer falling from its position. So after assigning the plane property under the cloth physics, it remained where it is, and it didn't fall down. Now let's switch to the front view or side view by clicking on 3, and let's rotate this in the y-axis. So now we are going to be okay. Let's add subdivision. Let's add subdivision modifier to it, and let's play again. So we are smoothing, and let's play. So now we're going to be adding the wind property to it. So let's go back, and we're going to be pressing Shift A to bring in. You're going to the force feed, and you're going to be bringing in the wind property. So you're going to rotate. You're going to rotate it in the y-axis. Then you're going to scale it up. Then we'll grab it and take it up in the x-axis. Grab it and take it a bit back in the y-axis. And let's go back to our side view. So now let's play. You can see it's not working yet. So we have to go back to the. We'll go back to the property of the. Let's go back to the cloth property and cloth physics. Under the cloth property, we just add self collision to its. Under this collision, we're going to click on the self collision. Then back to the wind property. back to the wind property, we are going to make the strength 2000. Then let's play. You can see the animation. You can see it working. Now let's add other things to it. What we're going to be doing, I'm going to be adding a pole to it, and we're going to be bringing in our cylinder. And yeah, bringing in the cylinder, we're going to move it in the y-axis to this side, the left-hand side. We're going to scale in the both in the y and x-axis, and then and not scale in the z-axis. So we're going to put x shift z, meaning shift z. So that meaning we are not going to scale down in the z-axis. No, we're always scaling down in x and y-axis. That's why we added shift d. So now let's scale in z-axis now. Scale up. Let's see if we scale it down a bit. Let me grab and adjust it in the y-axis. So what I will do, I'll switch to the object mode. Then in this top, I will extrude. I will just extrude. But before I extrude, let me add loop cuts to this top of it. So I'll just zoom in. I'll select the edge. Then I'll extrude up. Now after selecting the base round, so we have to extrude it and scale it a bit up, E and X. So we have E and X to scale it. Let's scale it up a bit. So now let's go back to our side view and let's go back to our object mode. And what we'll do next is we're going to adjust grab our pole closer to the edge, and that's it. So now these are flag, and let's play. So I can hide the wind by clicking on this I button in the scene collection. So you can see that the wind is hidden but is still working. So what we'll do next is to add colors to it. So we'll just switch over to the shading viewports, to the shading viewport, and we're going to be adding colors to it. I'm going to bring out, I've had the material image texture, use the image texture to add an image that I have to it. Then I'll just, if you have no doing glare, you can just press Ctrl T to bring out the other ones out. Now so let's apply, then this one we apply back the normal. So now let's go back to this, and now we are bringing in our so let's bring in our image. So I'll be using this image for my brown image, and you can see the way it is. So what I'll do next is that I will switch to the UV editing, and then let me move on to the material preview. Then click on it. You can see what I will do. I'll scale it bit down, then I'll click on all. So now what we'll do, we'll just rotate, select all, and we'll just rotate it until we get what we want. Now we'll scale it a bit. Now let's go back to our shading view, and let's add color to this. We can just give it the base color, let's say green. Let's make it a bit dark, or let's give it yellow color, since the flag is having a gold color. So we're going to make it dark a bit. Let's make an adjustment to the color, and that's it. Let's go back to our layouts section, and this is what we have. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to like this video. See you in my next video.